Now is Mike Jackson, founder of 2050 Marketing. Mike, always great to see you. I wonder here how, if you can, unpack how much of this pullback from Facebook is driven by concerns about Facebook and how much of it might have happened anyway as companies cut back on advertising. In other words, are they using this as cover to get out of spending what they're spending in advertising on Facebook?
Great to see you as well, Tyler. You know, it's interesting because, after the death of George Floyd, as you know, a lot of companies came out and made some very, very heartfelt statements acknowledging the social and economic issues that we have to deal with in this country. And so acknowledging was one thing. I think you're finding companies like the socially conscious companies like Patagonia and North Face, they kind of led this with the Anti-Defamation League and the NAACP. And so I truly believe a lot of these companies are looking at the statements that they made, the commitments that they made to shareholders, employees, and their communities, and they're taking action to force Facebook to change.
If you were advising, Mike, a company on its advertising spend, would you advise them to boycott Facebook based on what you know of Facebook's procedures, practices, and what appears on its website?
Facebook is a very effective and really efficient digital advertising medium. And so the effectiveness of the platform is not in question. They also have policies and practices around enforcement of hate speech. But it's the selective enforcement that I think is making these advertisers very, very uncomfortable. So in the short term, I would advise clients not to advertise on Facebook, to follow the lead of a lot of the brands that you mentioned earlier, and literally force Facebook to really come to the table and finally, after 4 or 5 years of just very reckless behavior, come to the table and make meaningful changes.
We're joined now by Joanna Stern, personal technology columnist at the Wall Street Journal. She's also a CNBC contributor. Joanna, I'm glad you could join us. Mike just used the word reckless, and I was going to begin my conversation with you by saying, let's play a little word association. So let's do that. When I say the word Facebook, you say...
Is irresponsible a good word?
Sure. That's your word.
Seems like a good word.
Why do you say that?
That seems a good word. I guess, can I revise? This is like Mad Libs. This is a tough game of Mad Libs you've put me into. I would say irresponsible because it makes a lot of promises and then seems to forget about them. And I think that's sort of a marker of someone who's irresponsible. They say they're going to do something and then they don't always do it, or they just give lip service to it. And I think we're seeing a little bit more than that right now. I think the next couple of days and weeks are going to be very important for Facebook here to prove out, make some promises about what they're going to do, but actually put a lot of money and power behind the promises around the regulation of speech, around what they're going to do in terms of moderation, around policies that they're really going to say, these are the policies and we're going to stick to them.
Joanna, irresponsible is sort of akin to arrogant. Do you think the leadership team at Facebook has from time to time been arrogant?
Sure. I would say that of any big tech company, but sure, I would say Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg and his leadership team certainly take a stand. They say this is what we're doing. They bow when they need to because of PR pressure, because of market pressure. I think we're going to see that here. But again, how far are they going to go? How much is Zuckerberg and his team going to waver? Now you're putting up right here a big amount of money for Facebook, and maybe that's what finally needed to happen.
Mike, is this the humbling of Mark Zuckerberg?
I don't think so. I think Mark is going to continue to be Mark. It may be the start of the humbling of Facebook, though. They've got employees all over the world. They've got employees that are very supportive of what's happening across America. Those employees have raised their concerns internally. Oftentimes they're bound by NDAs from speaking publicly. But it may be the beginning of the humble, or new Facebook, if you will, internally.